Big e-commerce companies bet the pandemic would change shopping behavior. They were wrong. And in this video, we will talk about the other side of online shopping and e-commerce. Because today we are talking about the black side, the dark side of e-commerce, which nobody tells you out there. Hi everyone, my name is Marcel Sattler. I'm the founder of PurpleBlack, a native advertising-only agency. So what we're doing on a daily basis is we also in e-commerce business are scaling in a profitable way campaigns on traffic sources like Taboola and Outbrain to scale up companies and increase their sales. But let's jump a few steps back because currently a few things going to change, especially in the e-commerce branch. So let me explain what I mean in detail by that, because when you scroll through Facebook, every agency owner or more or less everyone will tell you, hey, you have to spend more when you have an online shop, you have to start an online shop and so on. So everybody wants to tell you that online shopping or in general e-commerce is a big chance still in 2022. But let's be frank. Unfortunately, a lot of companies, a lot of big companies in the US are struggling because they made a bet that the pandemic would change e-commerce behavior. But as mentioned in the beginning, they were wrong. And by the way, that's not my personal conclusion, but there is an article from Bloomberg, which is linked in the description, who is proving exactly that what I mentioned already a few videos ago, because everyone thought in the past 2 years, okay, Q4 is here, so I just have to spend more money and e-commerce sales will come automatically to my store. But unfortunately, that's wrong. And a lot of online stores will struggle this Q4 2022 because of that. But let's skip back to 2020, when the pandemic rolls out over the world and retailers close the door. So what's happened? All people jumping to the internet, and of course they bought a lot of things online. So it was easy to generate online purchases. You just have to be there and tell people, hey, I have something which you want to have. So it was super easy in the past. The thinking was simple. After experiencing the ease of online shopping, why should consumers return to stores? Now it turns out they have. Because in the US currently the e-commerce wave receded. In a lot of categories, the e-commerce sales are back where it was before COVID-19. So that means the growth which many people expected through the pandemic isn't here. Not just small companies hit, also big companies. So for example, the S&P 500 drops at the percentage in the first 9 months of this year, about 25%, which is huge. And some similar stocks like Amazon even dropped more about their value, so they lost a lot of value in the first couple of months of 2022. For example, Shopify, one of the big software as a service providers in e-commerce, plunged at 80%. So their losses in the first couple of months of 2022, they lost incredible value of 133 million, which is huge. So analysts say that everyone's thoughts were that the pandemic pushes us 5 years to the future, but they were all wrong. And let me talk a little bit more about Shopify, because Shopify is a software which is used by thousands or not even millions of stores out there. And Shopify is more than just a software as a service provider. Shopify is also a payment provider with Shopify Payments. And Shopify is a very good sample. We'll see the misgrowing effect of e-commerce now in 2022, because just a few weeks ago they declared to cut off 1,000 jobs, and the CEO were also very sorry about it, but he told in an open article about it that he made a bet, and this bet went wrong because he thought through the pandemic e-commerce will continue growing exponentially. So it will still continue growing in 2022, 2023 and so on. But it isn't. By the way, I will drop the link from the Shopify store or from the Shopify CEO, the article about it, in the description below of this video. Also, a lot of psychologists have investigated the habits of e-commerce shopping. And it's very easy to them to explain why we jump back into old habits, because in general, we people love to go out, and it's a very old habit for us to go out for shopping. So in general, we jump back into old habits. And that also means that people don't love the ease of online shopping. They just made a purchase because they need it. But what we see in general, people love to go shopping through malls. They love the physical effect to taking things in their hand and just taking shopping as an experience, which you normally don't have in an online way. So that was the little bit negative side of the e-commerce now in Q4 2022. So what it means for you when you have an e-commerce store, an e-commerce brand. It means for you that Q4 2022 would be completely different than the past 2 years. So as mentioned in the beginning of this video, in the past 2 years, it was very simple to generate online sales with your store. You just have to run a few bucks, or you just have to invest a few bucks into Facebook or Google ads and let the algorithm make everything. And you see, okay, online stores are coming in, it's profitable, everything is fine. So just scaling it up to the moon. But unfortunately, this year, when you didn't change or adapt your strategy, you will lose a lot of money. Nowadays, just a few countries still have COVID restrictions, but most of the globe doesn't have any COVID restrictions anymore. So that means people will use holiday definitely to go out for the shopping experience and buy things for Christmas out in malls or in stores. And that's the truth which normally nobody tells you, because they just want to sell the same Facebook ads, they just want to sell the same Google ads and everything like that. But you have to pay it in the end of the day, and you have to be profitable, that you can pay loans for employees, that you can pay your stock inventory and everything else. Is everything negative? No, definitely not. Of course, there are some misleading parts, like for example the fact that e-commerce growth stopped, same as the inflation, which is very, very high currently. So it would be very difficult this year to run and scale profitable e-commerce sales, especially when you just use the same mechanics, the same strategy like in the past 2 or 3 years. But let's turn this video into a positive part, because I'm a very positive, forward-looking person. So of course, there are a lot of things which are very, very difficult nowadays, but there is also good news, because with other strategies, with giving value to people, you definitely will increase your e-commerce sales on a profitable way. So what I mean by that is, for example, when you're investing 1,000, 2,000 or 3,000 bucks per day into Facebook ads, into Google ads, that's fine, and I'm pretty sure it would be continuing in a good way, but it's very insecure if this is your one and only main traffic source. So what I mean by that is that it's normally not working anymore just to show an ad and link it to an offer page or to your Shopify product page. And therefore, I want to introduce you native ads, because native ads are ads that are not looking like ads. Are they helping against everything, against the recession and all that stuff? Definitely not. But with native ads, we saw it already in the past that we helped a lot of people, a lot of e-commerce brands to scale on a profitable way besides of the regular major traffic sources like Facebook and Google. But it's not just a diversifying of a traffic source, it's more than that, because with native ads, a lot of things are possible which aren't possible with Facebook in general. For example, like a more or less unlimited scaling with one product to 50, 60, 70K per day in a very profitable way, without any account blocks, without any bans of fan pages, and without any strange bugs that you don't have access to a business manager anymore, and so on. But the thing why I'm pretty sure that native ads also will work for e-commerce stores in this holiday season, in this fourth quarter, is another reason, because we're targeting a completely different audience. So Facebook is more or less working on interests of the person. And with native ads, we as an agency, for example, playing not just with the interests, because we are not able to target the interests. So we don't have the capability or the technical resources to target people by their interests, because it's not possible. And therefore we're using other psychological things like curiosity. And the reason here why we're using it, because with curiosity, we can reach out for a way bigger audience than just for people who are already interested in your product or service. Another big benefit is that native ads are ads that are not looking like ads. So people normally don't want to buy things. They don't want to get advertised. Everything or everyone have an ad fatigue already. So they want to get rid of those ads in their Instagram stories. Because when you're in the kitchen, you want to search for a recipe. You don't want to see a Monday.com or something or a software ad. You just want to see the recipe. That's it. You just want to bake your cake. So nobody loves watching ads. And that's the difference with native ads, because native ads, as mentioned before, are not looking like ads. So no one feels advertised with native ads because they are placed in the bottom of news pages normally. And people see the topics there, they see a topic collection, and they can click into a topic where they are interested in. For example, into a knee bandage or into a health thing, into clothes, whatever they're currently interested in. And what they're seeing then is an editorial. An editorial is a page which looks like a news article, but of course it's normal copywriting that have to convince people to buy a product or a service. But you see, here it's a completely different way than just Facebook ads with an ad or a video and putting the prospects and the traffic to just a Shopify page. So then they say, okay, do we need it? Do we don't need it? What's the price there? And so on. But with this technique, with native advertising in general, you're reaching a completely cold audience, which is very broad. And you're warming them up with the editorial. So in the editorial, they have all the information. It's your 24/7 available salesman or salesperson, because the editorial will facing all the questions, all the open points, and everything what they need to take a decision at the end of the editorial. And when they're coming to the end of the editorial, they can continue buying this product. And just after clicking here the button, they will come to the real offer page on Shopify, on WooCommerce, or in your online store in general. And of course, I can tell you a lot of things like a higher conversion rate and all that stuff, but I think that's not the very important thing or the very important message. The very important message giving you from my perspective today is that things are changing currently, and when you just do the old things which have worked for you in the past, like Facebook ads, Google ads, that's pretty fine. But you definitely have to search for new methods to acquire clients. And a good way for this could be native advertising with traffic sources like Taboola, Outbrain, Yahoo Gemini, and many, many more. And by the way, when you want to learn more about native ads, then subscribe to my channel, because I will post 2 times a week a video about native advertising in detail. So I'm looking forward to welcome you as a new subscriber, and see you next time. Have a good one.